The Manners and Customs of India, published in Boston Herald, May 15th, 1894. Association Hall was crowded with ladies yesterday to hear Swami Vivekananda, the Brahmin monk, talk about the religion of India, actually the manner and customs of India, for the benefit of the ward's 16-day nursery, actually Tyler Street Day Nursery. The Brahmin monk has become a fade in Boston, as he was in Chicago last year, and his earnest, honest, cultured manner has won many friends for him. The, the Hindu nation is not given to marriage. The Hindu nation is not given to marriage, he said, not because we are woman haters, but because our religion teaches us to worship woman. The Hindu is taught to see in every woman his mother, and no man wants to marry his mother. God is mother to us. We don't carry anything about God in heaven. It is mother to us. We consider marriage a low vulgar state, and if a man does marry, it is because he need a helpmate for religion. You say we ill treat our women. What nation in the world has not ill treated its woman? In Europe or America, a man can marry a woman for money and after capturing her dollars can kick her out. In India, on the contrary, when a woman marries for money, her children are considered slaves according to our teachings, and when a rich man marries, his money passes into the hands of his wife so that he would be scarcely likely to turn the keeper of his money out of doors. You say we are heathens, we are uneducated, uncultivated, but we laugh in ourselves at your want of refinement in telling us such things. With us, quality and birthmark makes caste. With us, quality and birth make caste, not money. No amount of money can do anything for you in India. In case the caste, the poorest is a good, has the richest, and that is the one of the most beautiful thing about it. Money has made wealth, warfare in the world, and caused Christians to trample on each other's neck. Jealousy, hatred, and avariciousness are born of money-getter. Here is here it is all work, hustle and bustle. Caste saves a man from all this. It makes it possible for a man to live with less money and it brings work to all. The man of caste has time to think of his soul, and that is what we want in the society in India. The Brahmin is born to worship God. The higher is his caste, the greater his social restrictions are. Caste has kept us alive as a nation, and while it has many defects, it has many more advantages. Mr. Vivekanand described the universities and colleges of India, both ancient and modern, notably the one at Banaras that has 20,000 students and professors. When you judge my religion, he continued, you take it that yours is perfect and mine is wrong. And when you criticize the society of India, you suppose it to be uncultured, just so far as it does not conform to our standard. That is nonsense. In reference to the matter of education, the speaker said that the educated men in India becomes professors while the less educated becomes priest. Next, the religions of India, published in Boston Herald, May 17, 1894. The Brahmin monk Swami Vivekananda lectured yesterday afternoon in Association Hall on the religion of India. In aid of the ward 16-day nursery, there was a large attendance. The speaker first gave an account of the Mohammedan, who formed, he said, one-fifth of the population. They believe in both Old and New Testament, but Jesus Christ they regarded only as a prophet. They had no church organization, though there was reading of Quran. The Parsis, another race, called their sacred books the Zen Avesta, and believed in two warring deities, Armuzd the good and Hariman the evil. They believed that finally the good would trumpet over the evil, and their moral code was summed up in the words good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. The Hindus proper looked upon the Vedas as their religious scriptures. They held each individual to the customs of caste, but gave him full liberty to think of for himself in the religious matter. A part of their method was to seek out some holy man or prophet in order to take advantage of the spiritual current that followed through him. The Hindus had three different schools of religion: the dualistic, the qualified monistic, and the monistic. And these three were regarded as stages through which each individual naturally passed in the course of his religion development. All three believed in God, but the dualistic school believed that God and man were separate entities, while the monistic declared that there was only one existence in the universe. This Unitarian exists being neither God nor soul, but something beyond. The lecturer quoted from the Vedas to show that the character of the Hindu religion and declared that to find God, one must search one's own heart. Religion did not consist of pamphlets or books. It consists of looking into the human heart and finding their truth of God and immortality. Whosoever I like, said the Vedas, him I create as a prophet. And to be a prophet was all there was of religion. The speaker brought his lecture to the close by giving an account of the giants who show remarkable kindness to dumb animals and whose moral law is summed up in the words not to injure others in the highest good. Next, sects and sect sects and doctrines in India. Sects and Doctrines in India. Published in Harvard Crimson, May 17th, 1894. Swami Vivekananda, the Hindu monk, gave an address last evening in the Sever Hall under the auspices of the Harvard Religious Union. The address was very interesting. The clear, eloquent voice of the speaker and his low, earnest delivery making his words singularly impressive. There are various sects and doctrines in India, said Vivekananda, some of which accept the theory of the personal God and other which believe that God and the universe are one. But whatever sect the Hindu belong to, he does not say that his is the only right belief and that all other must be wrong. He believes that there are many ways of coming to God, that a man who is truly religious rises above the petty quarrels of sect and creed. In India, if a man believes that he is a spirit, soul, and not a body, then he is said to have religion, and not till then. To become a monk in India, it is necessary to lose all the thought of the body, to look upon other human beings as souls. So, monk may never marry. Two vows are taken when a monk becomes a monk: poverty and chastity. He is not allowed to receive or possess any money whatever. The first ceremony to be performed on joining the order is to be burnt in effigy, which supposed to destroy one's for all the old body and name and caste. The man then receives a new name and is allowed to go forth and preach or travel, but must take no money for what he does. Next, less doctrine and more bread. Less doctrine and more bread. published in Baltimore American, October 15, 1894. The Lyceum Theatre was crowded last night at the first of the series of the meeting by Vrooman brothers, and the subject discussed was dynamic religion. Swami Vivekananda, high priest from India, was the last speaker. He spoke briefly and was listened to with marked attention. His English and his mode of delivery were excellent. There is a foreign accent to his delivery, to his syllables but not enough to prevent him from being plainly understood. He was dressed in the custom of his native country, which was decidedly picture queen. He said he could speak but briefly after the oratory that had preceded him, but he could add his endorsement to all that had been said. He had travelled a great deal and preached to all kind of peoples. He had found that the particular kind of doctrine preached made little difference. What is wanted is practical sort of work. It must, if such idea could not be carried out, he would lose his faith in humanity. The cry all over the world is less doctrine and more bread. He thought the sending of missionaries to India all right. He had no objection to offer, but he thought it would be better to send fewer men and more money. So far as India was concerned, she had religious doctrine to spare. Living up to the doctrine was not needed more doctrine. The people of India, as well as the people all over the world, had been taught to pray, but prayer with the lip was not enough. People should pray with their heart. A few people in the world, he said, really try to do good. Others look on and applaud and think that they themselves have done great good. Life is love, and when the man ceases to do good to others, he is dead spiritually. One Sunday evening, next, Swami Vivekanand will make the address. On Sunday evening next, Swami Vivekanand will make an address of the evening at the Lyceum. Sunday, October 15th, 1894. Vivekanand sat on the stage last night with the imperturbable stolidity until it came his turn to speak. Then his manner changed and he spoke with force and feeling. He followed the Vroom brothers and said there was little to add to what had been said, save this testimony as a man from the antipodes. We have doctrines enough, he continued. What we want now is practical work as presented in this speech. When asked about the missionaries sent to India, I reply, all right. But we want money more and men less. India has bushes full of doctrine, and to spare what is wanted is the means to carry them out. Prayer may be done in different ways. Prayer with the hands is yet higher than the prayer with the lips, and is more saying. All religion teach all religion teach us to do good for our brothers. Doing good is nothing extraordinary. It is the only way to live. Everything in nature tend to expansion of our life and contract for death. It is the same in religion. Do good by helping others without ulterior motive. The moment this ceases, contraction and death follows. Next, the religion of Buddha. Published in Morning Herald, October 22nd, 1894. An audience which filled the Lyceum Theatre, Baltimore, from pit from pit to dome assembled last night at the second of the series of meeting held by Vrooman brothers in the interest of dynamic religion. Fully 3,000 persons were present. Addresses were made by the Rev. Hiram Vrooman, Rev. Walter Vrooman, Rev. Swami Vivekanand, the Brahmin high priest now visiting this city. The speaker of the evening was seated on the stage. The real Swami Vivekananda being a object of particular interest to all. He wore a yellow turban and a red robe, tied it in at the waist, with the sash of the same color, which added to the oriental cast of his feature and invested him with the peculiar interest. His personality seemed to be the feature of the evening. His address was delivered in an easy, unembarrassed manner, his diction being perfect and his accent similar to that of the cultured member of the Latin race family with English language, he said in part. The high priest speaks. Buddha began to found the religion of India 600 years before the birth of Christ. He found the religion of India at that time mainly engaged in eternal discussion upon the nature of the human soul. There was no remedy according to the idea then prevailing for the cure of religious ills, but sacrifices of animal and sacrificial altars and similar methods. In the midst of the system, a priest was born, who was the member of one of the leading families who was the founder of Buddhism. His was, in the first place, not the foundation of the new religion, but the movement of reformation. He believed in the good of all. His religion, as formulated by him, consisted of the discovery of three things. First, there is an evil. Second, what is the cause of this evil? This he ascribed to the desire of man to be superior to others, an evil that could be cured by unselfishness. Third, this evil is curable by something unselfish. Force, he concluded, could not cure it. Dirt cannot wash it. Hate cannot cure it. This was the basis of his religion. So long as society tries to cure human selfishness by laws and institutions whose aim is to force others to do good to their neighbors, nothing can be done. Then the remedy is not to place trick against trick and force against force. The only remedy is in making unselfish men and women. You may enact laws to cure, prevent evil, but they will be on no avail. Buddha found in India too much talking about God and his essence and too little work. He always insisted upon the fundamental truth that we are to be pure and holy, and that we are to help others to be holy also. He believed that man must go to work and help others and find his soul in others, find his life in others. He believed that in the conjunction of the doing good to others is the only good we do ourselves. He believed that there was always in the world too much theory and too little practice. A dozen Buddhas in India at the present time would do good, and one Buddha in this country would also be beneficial. When there is too much doctrine, too much belief in my father's religion, too much rational superstitions, a change is needed. Such doctrine produce evil and a reformation is necessary. At the conclusion of Mr. Vivekananda's address, there was a hearty burst of applause. Published in Baltimore American, October 22, 1894. The Lyceum Theatre was crowded to the doors last night at the second meeting of the series conducted by Vroom Brothers on dynamic religion. Swami Vivekananda of India made the principal address. He spoke on the Buddhist religion and told of the evils which existed among the people of India at the time of the birth of the Buddha. The social inequalities in India, he said, were at that period of thousand times greater than anywhere else in the world. 600 years before Christ, he continued, the priesthood of India exercised great influence over the minds of people, and between the upper and Between the upper and neither milestones of intellectuality and learning, the people were ground. Buddhism, which is the religion of more than two-thirds of the human family, was not founded as an entirely new religion, but rather as a reformation which carried off the corruption of the times. Buddha seems to have been the only prophet who did everything for others and absolutely nothing for himself. He gave up his home and all the enjoyment of his life, spent his days in search of this medicine for the terrible disease of human misery. In an age when men and priests were discussing the essence of deity, he discovered what people had overlooked, that misery existed. The cause of the evil is our desire to be superior to others and our selfishness. The moment that the world becomes unselfish, all evil will vanish. So long as society tries to cure evil by laws and institutions, evil will not be cured. The world has tried this method inefficiently for thousands of years. Force against force never cures, and the only cure for evil is unselfishness. We need to teach people to obey the laws rather than to make more laws. Buddhism was the first missionary religion of the world, but it was one of the teachings of Buddhism not to antagonize any other religion. Sect their power. Sects weaken their power for good by making war on each other.